Hi Gareth, thank you for talking to us today. As Chief Clinical Information Officer of Salford Royal Foundation Trust, first of all, congratulations on your designation of exemplar site in the Global Digital Excellence Programme. We're very excited to be working with you from Allscripts. As users of the Sunrise product, can you tell us which elements of the Sunrise product you're currently using within Salford Royal and the departments that affects?
So essentially we are a high digital maturity organisation, which means that the product has got very good penetration across the organisation. So we use clinical noting, electronic prescribing, electronic discharge summaries and structured documents using medical logic modules to provide clinical decision support.
Within the Global Digital Excellence Programme, can you explain what you're trying to achieve, particularly with reference to your use of Sunrise?
So we're really clear in Salford that the output is all about the patient, and we're looking to deliver standardised digital reliable care. Digital reliable care for the patient every time. So by that we'll get replicable care, which we know we can then scale across a group of hospitals or into other areas to provide that reassurance to clinical colleagues that they really are delivering the high-end care that they wish to do.
And in order to do that, presumably you had to come up with a set of care areas which you were going to tackle through configuration of Sunrise. Was it hard to come to that short list of areas to tackle?
So we're looking to develop what we're calling a tessellation of interrelated clinical care areas, such that there's interoperability between different aspects of care. So for example, antibiotic prescribing can talk to various different clinical pathways. DVT assessment and prevention can talk to various different clinical pathways. We've used a series of lenses to identify those areas which you might like to tackle. We've looked for areas of opportunity where we're perhaps not performing as well as we should do, so using the record to build in standardised care. We've looked at areas where there is strategic need to change and using the record as a strategic enabler, if you like, for transformation of services. And finally, we look for areas of early clinical engagement, so where we know that the clinicians are really passionate about digital transformation, trying to prioritise those areas to get those quick early wins and the demonstration of benefits for patients.
So can you give an example of one of those quick early wins that are already beginning to show benefits for patients and possibly also for clinicians?
Yeah, so we've standardised the assessment of patients in the emergency department who are presenting with swollen legs and possibly have a deep venous thrombosis. So by using a standardised care bundle with decision support in electronic patient record, we have increased access to care in terms of the number of patients who receive a scan on the day of presentation. So we've gone from around 1.5% of patients to around 45% of patients now getting a scan in the ED on the same day. So that has huge impact not only for patient outcomes, but also for productivity and efficiency within the organisation. As a consequence, we've also seen the number of days that patients are taking therapeutic heparin decrease by 73%. So we've really cut the risk of iatrogenic harm to the patients through using a standardised care bundle which has been developed in the Salford Emergency Department by local clinicians.
That sounds very exciting and certainly something that other trusts could benefit from. As part of the Digital Excellence Programme, there is a fast follower scheme which is to enable other trusts which are of lesser digital maturity to learn from what you've already done and ideally implement what you've already created. What messages might you have for a Chief Clinical Information Officer from one such trust who perhaps is at the very early stages of their electronic patient record journey?
So I think you're absolutely right, and we're completely passionate about this concept of sharing our learning and our experience for the benefits of patients across a wider footprint. I think the key message really is around sense making. So what are we trying to achieve using the electronic patient record? I think tech is a very busy space, it's a noisy space, and we've got to translate for clinicians what's the output from this. And it is that digital reliable care mantra which goes to the heart of everything we do. So what I'd be looking for other Chief Clinical Information Officers to do will be to understand that vision, translate it into the need in their local care organisation, and then engage their clinical colleagues to deliver that across that patch.
That's great. We've talked about the benefits at an organisational level and some of the benefits that are already affecting patients. But from your own personal use as a clinician working within Salford Royal, can you tell us what benefits you find on a daily basis from using Sunrise?
So as I said before, Sunrise is enterprise-wide. It is just the way we do things. I think that probably the biggest benefit at the start of the process is that we know where the notes are. We can find the information where we need it. We don't have any missing data. So that gives me as a clinician real reassurance that I'm using the best combination of clinical information to make decisions about the patient. Potentially I can do this from home via a laptop to remotely review my patients. I think the other aspect that we bring out within the electronic patient record is clinical decision support. So for example, if I'm prescribing in the operating theatre, I know that the post-operative analgesia regimes have been verified, they are standardised, and they are being implemented reliably according to our agreed protocols. So in a way it frees me up from that level of decision making to actually interpret a greater range of information for the patient rather than concentrate on the detail.